whenever Trump wanted to get a loan or make a deal, he would illegally inflate the value of his real estate.
We're talking about a victimless crime. They find an ordinance or a law that has never been used ever before in anyone else.
He's committed bank fraud where there's no victim. It makes no sense.
No victims. There was no victim. The ruling is blatantly unfair.
That didn't go over very well with the investment community because we're all asking each other, who's next?
Who's next?
Why is Jon Stewart fighting with everybody? And why is he trending? Welcome back, villagers, to another episode of Hugh Tran, the Insurance Man. This is going to be a juicy one. But before we get started, make sure you watch the whole video because I will help you understand everything from A to Z. And forgive me, I bit my tongue really hard, so my pronunciation may be off a little bit, but I cannot stop making this video because a lot of villagers is asking me. So, why is Jon Stewart trending? Well, on the Daily Show, who is a pretty anti former President Donald Trump, came out with this skit, and he was trashing the former president, and he's actually correct. When I say that, don't get mad at me. I will break down all the juice, and you can decide where you stand in this case. And the cool thing about this was that yesterday I had a wonderful talk with a villager of mine from California. Very constructive. There was no profanity, and we just talked because I was once upon a time from California. Most Californians are Democrat, and even some, they don't claim to be Democrat, but they would think like a Democrat because four things to bring up. Number one is Trump bad. His character is bad. He no good. Number two, abortion. It was Donald Trump's fault that abortion was overthrown. Number three, January 6th. Very similar, right? So a lot of Californians love to talk about that. And when the moment you talk to any Californian, they'll tell you, oh, I'm independent. I don't claim any party, but they bring those things up. They're Democrat. How do I know? I was once upon a time a Democrat, and that's fact. But I became an independent voter simply because I seen both sides are a bunch of idiots. Don't attack me. You know, I know what to do now that I'm a free thinker. I seek truth. That's why I'm creating this channel. But let's get back on topic. So when I talked to this person and he mentioned that Trump is bad because of his character, would you vote for a president that say grab woman by her V? The real term is grab her by the PUSSY. I'm not sure if YouTube allowed me to say that, but so I actually never looked into that video. He sent it to me. When I watched it, I was like, bruh, you kidding, right? I hear this all the time in football. I hear this all the time in wrestling because I do all these sports growing up. And man, we talk like this all the time. So, but my stupidity, I allowed the legacy media to run away with this doesn't hurt anybody. There was no victim. There was, it's a term, and you may not like it, but a lot of men talk like this. We say things like this, but it does not mean that we disrespect women. Tell the truth, me and my wife, I chase around the house all the time. We do funny stuff, and that's the thing that I want people to understand. It's when men, we say things, but it does not mean that we disrespect women. It does not mean that we're here to harm women. That you guys are allowing legacy media to twist things really bad. So I finally saw that video. I was like, what in the world? I hated this man because of this 5 simple words. When I saw the video, I was like, oh my gosh, insurance man, you're an idiot. Thank goodness that you're a free thinker now. You're able to see. The thing is, I hear this conversation so many times between men. If you haven't joined any sport or any football, basketball, any sport that our group of men come together, we talk like this. And it does not mean that we disrespect women. Get it to your head. Stop it with your feelings. Look at the action that us men are doing. Because someone say, oh, grab her by the PUSSY, it does not mean that we hate, defame, torture, beat women. Stop with that narrative. Number two, Trump overturned Roe versus Wade. Did he? No. Oh, but he did, because he appointed he nominated the three Supreme Court. Who are they? Neil, Brett, and Amy. I forget the last name. Forgive me, but there are nine. Supreme Court. There are 9 people on that whole Supreme Court system. He nominated 3. The other 6 can easily vote against the abortion, but they didn't, and that happened in 2022, which is 2 years after Trump left the White House. But still, blame on him for everything, right? And another thing, January 6th. Don't come and talk to me about January 6th if you haven't put the time to read or review all the January 6th footage. And of course, this wonderful villager of mine told me you should watch the speech he made before all those people marched to the Capitol. I watched that. And of course, this awesome villager, he said, for someone that supporting former President Donald Trump, you haven't seen that video, he's kind of skeptical. Remember, you guys, I was a full-blown legacy media psyop, and that was my stupidity, but I'm awake, so I watched that whole speech, and when I finished watching that speech, my belief for former President Donald Trump exploded, level 10,000, because everything the legacy media talk about him, it wasn't on that speech. But people tell me, watch that speech and you will see the truth. When I saw that speech, you damn well I saw the truth. Legacy media took 2 or 3 words and they run with it. What are those words? Fight like hell. If you're a leader, wouldn't you want to encourage your people to fight like hell? You do not want our country to fall to the deep state. You don't want our country to become so corrupt where we have a rigged election. And United States of America have the world's biggest rigged election. Why? Mailed in ballots. It's unheard of. Get voter IDs and all the dishonesty is out the window. But Democrat would not allow this to happen because they need to rig an election in order to win. If you're going to go tell me, oh, insurance man, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about, then make sure voter ID become a law. And if you want to, make sure we have one day to vote. Everybody in America, get that day off, make it a holiday, a national holiday. Everybody in America come out to vote and have a valid ID. This discussion will end right now. But Democrat will not allow that to happen. Why? They need to rig an election. So of course I'm going to fight like hell for my country. I love this country. This country gave me a life I've never envisioned. The other one was show strength. Damn well I'm going to show my strength. I'm going to flex because if I'm not a man, I'm not strong enough to protect my country, who will? But the legacy media, man, these evil, evil people, they took those and they ran with it. And somehow they twisted it and made him like he, what's that word? Foment by Jon Stewart. Foment insurrection. That means he insinuated that insurrection. I saw that video of this awesome villager sent to me. There was nothing in that video that showed that he tell people, you go in there and you're going to cause havoc. Ray Epps did that. And what happened to Ray Epps? Slap on the wrist. Out in the free. Look that up. So don't come and tell me that I'm brainwashed because I had never supported former President Donald Trump until 2020. Because I saw a rigged election. What they did on Twitter, what they did with Facebook, and all those crazy mail-in ballot with people dying and they still able to vote. That's crazy, and that's a fact. But let's not talk about that because, you're an independent voter, which is awesome. But do your own research because if we don't, we lose a country. The deep state's going to take over and everybody's going to be in a wreck. But too much of me talking. Now I jump to what's going on in Tim Pool. Let's take a look at this video.
Stewart's ragging on Trump, claiming that Letitia James knew he committed fraud because when it came time to pay taxes, he paid a lower amount, which proves he was lying. The funny thing about that is tax assessment for buildings is done by the city, not by the individual. So Jon Stewart clearly has no idea what he's talking about, but I found the receipts. Jon Stewart sold a property in New York in 2014 for $17.5 million, despite the fact the assessed value was 1.8. And Jon Stewart knew that this property was worth way more, but only paid taxes on $740,000. Now, something's not right there, John. We'll talk about that, the hypocrisy.
Tim Pool is mad at Jon Stewart, and rightfully so, because that skit, if you watch on the Daily Show, Jon Stewart, he took a lot of jab against former President Donald Trump. Some true, some super exaggerated, and that's the thing about Jon Stewart. I happen to be a fan of his for a while because he actually stood with apes, with the investment group, because he allowed us to connect with Gary Gensler, and we able to get some few changes to the stock market, which I talked about in another video. And that's the thing I like about Jon Stewart, because he actually was one of the few celebrity to stand up for apes, which is middle class like you and I. And I won't forget that. But after watching the skit, he did exaggerate a little bit. He took crazy jab, and in a way, he was, making obscene scenes, like putting his hand through Donald Trump butthole when he was playing golf. I mean, grabbed her by the PUSSY, and he's putting his hand at former President Donald Trump butthole. Does that make a difference? Right? But what are they talking about? Why are they fighting? Of course, the left or right is always going to fight. You watch my channel, you're going to understand I'm a free thinker, truth seeker. So I'm going to give you facts and let you decide what you want to do. But villagers, most importantly, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, because our channel is growing, and it's all thanks to you. I'm feeling very blessed. But let's take a look at what happened. So Tim Pool came out, and he got some record of Jon Stewart selling his property. I believe in 2014, he sold it for $17.5 million. Okay, but according to the market value, it's only valued at $1,882,000. But the actual valuation was even lower at $847,174. However, you guys, the story came from the New York Post, but you have to understand the allegation, the court cases between former President Donald Trump is different from Jon Stewart selling his house, his home, his property. It's a different process. So that's what I want you guys to understand, because I'm a homeowner. So when I have people appraise my home, value my home at this level, if I can able to just find a buyer at this level, that person is going to buy it. He or she or whatever organization do their own research. Keyword, they will do their own research, and they accept the offer that that I'm willing to let go of. Then win-win. You close. You pay whatever tax it is. Boom, you move on. The right doesn't like that, because Jon Stewart started saying like, tax evasions and improper valuation. But my villagers, we have to understand, selling a home is different from falsifying documentations. That's what our former President Donald Trump got caught doing. I'll jump to that in a little bit. And trust me, I spent a good amount of time reviewing the court cases, because my villagers from California told me, if you want to defend former President Donald Trump, you need to actually read the whole case. And I'm tired, bit my tongue, and I read. But I'm going to give you guys a summary in case you don't know the whole case. I'll put the summary in the description. And let me know, because if you guys need more information, let me know. I'm pretty up to date now. After talking to my villagers yesterday, I started reading a lot more. Super into it now, because now I understand why both sides are arguing, because chances are none of them actually read the whole case, so they're gonna constantly argue to start trending on whatever platform they're on. But if you watch this channel, I give you facts. If you're a free thinker, do your own thinking, truth seeker, you're at the right channel. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and get the community growing. So after that, so Jon Stewart, technically, he didn't do anything wrong because, he got his own valuation. He sold to someone that willing to take his valuation, and then the case done. You close that, everything is done, and you pay your taxes. You pay your taxes based on the what you pay for, and that is correct. So selling your home is different from falsifying documentation, and you may not like that, but that's just a fact, you guys. But Jon Stewart came out, and he said a lot of crazy shit. He said a lot of crazy shit because he's not gonna keep his mouth shut, knowing that what he did wasn't a crime. So what did Jon Stewart said to Tim Pool? Bah, 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 I'm gonna fight you. Not fight, but type keyboard warrior. What he said? OMG! I've been caught doing something not remotely similar to Trump. I guess all I need to do now is start a fraud college. That's too low. Steal classified documents. That's talking about when he took the documents from the White House and he brought it to Mar-a-Lago, which is actually not a crime because he was a sitting president, not like Joe Biden took classified documentation when he was vice president. But, Democrat would not tell you that. Jon Stewart would not tell you that because he does not bring real facts. Sorry, John. A fan of yours and all, but facts matters. Bankrupt casino. Bad business happened. Come on, John. People file bankruptcy all the time. But according to my villager from California, our former president did file bankruptcy 4 times. But what does it have to do with anything? He's 8 billion richer as of yesterday, right? Because of the merger. Say that for another day. And pay hush money. Stormy Daniel, I think that's her name. But who is wealthy nowadays does not pay hush money? Bill Clinton, P. Diddy, bunch of other people. So hush money, come on, John, you can do better. And of course, the infamous grab, PUSSIES, because Jon Stewart is the type to hit you on the low. But I debunked that already. I saw the video. Jon Stewart should have done better. I know why people said he's not a funny comedian. Come on, John, do better. And last but not least, actually, there's more. Discriminate in housing. You can't prove that. Or can you? If that actually happened, let me know in the comment section. I do want to dig into that because I don't discriminate. It's not fair, but you let me know, villagers. Cheat at golf? Come on, John. You were putting your hand in his butthole while he was golfing. The Daily Show that. And last but not least, foment insurrection. So meaning Jon Stewart believed the legacy media lies and he took it. He didn't watch the whole speech. If he watched the whole speech, I did not see that Donald Trump, our former president Donald Trump, started or insinuate an insurrection. Come on, guys. You gotta use common sense. You gotta understand the message. Don't let legacy media do your thinking. Unless you guys have other footage you want me to look into. But if you guys show me the same 1 hour and 58 minutes footage of that speech, you're not gonna get me. Sorry, I won't fall for that trap again. No more media psyop. And that's the reason why. Jon Stewart came out and started knocking. But a lot of his jabs are very low. He's not throwing like Mike Tyson, like one hit KO kind of thing. It's very low. That's probably why Jon Stewart's not a boxer. He's a comedian. Average in my opinion, but I still like Jon Stewart, cool guy, because he stand with the middle class sometime. And by all means, Tim Pool have his reason, but unfortunately, I have to say, selling a property is different from falsifying documentation. Now you made it this far, it's about to get juicy. I promise you. I'm sorry, my tongue is hurting because I bit my tongue, but you have to understand what are the allegations. So I would put the whole breakdown from A to Z in the description. If you find it helpful, please like, comment, share, subscribe. It will help our channel grow. I appreciate you, villagers. But let's review the allegation. I'll put it up to this side. So the allegation. The case centers around allegations of financial fraud and misrepresentations by Donald Trump and the Trump organization. Specifically, the New York Attorney General office claimed that Trump and his organization inflated the value of assets to secure loans and insurance coverage. I know quite a bit about insurance, so I'll break those down for you guys. Okay? While also understating the value of those assets to pay tax purposes. So that's where the trouble lies. But before I break those down, I understand where the right's coming from, because the AG should not go after former President Donald Trump. It should be the district attorney. The reason, because the district attorney take care of these kind of cases. When an AG do this, and she campaigned that she will take down former President Donald Trump, that make people question her motive. You have to understand that. People are waking up. Legacy media is dead. Decline. People are waking up. They see what it is. And this is election interference, trying to delay our former President Donald Trump, hit him financially hard, because the fine they do at him is the biggest fine of all time in history. And there, again, nobody got hurt. Victimless. But Jon Stewart don't like that, because, he mentioned tax. People have to pay taxes. But if you're going to go against former President Donald Trump, first, the DA need to bring the case. And second, the bank that loaned him the money need to work with the DA and say, hey, this is what they did. But unfortunately, nobody except Letitia James going after former President Donald Trump, because everybody and their mamas got paid for. They got paid. And you can tell me, oh, the middle class got hurt because Donald Trump cheated, so middle class had to pay more taxes. I understand, and that is a crime. But to throw half a billion at his face during election time, it gives people a lot of other crazy narrative, and that's what's happening right now. But you have to understand, all of Donald Trump businesses also employed about 22,000 employees. He's doing this, but he's also providing this for the middle class. And that's facts. You don't like that? Find another channel. This channel, I throw facts at you, and you can be free thinkers, truth seekers, and do your own thinking. So that's the whole headache, because former President Donald Trump, he inflated his value and asset. He told the bank, hey, I got this much money, and I got this property, and then his value is higher, which I agree with, and that is what everybody would do. If you're gonna ask a bank for a loan, wouldn't you want to overvalue your property so that way you can get a better loan? Because you need to get a better loan in case you need to fix your home, your pipe erupt, and you need more money to fix your home, and you have a cushion. I would do that. You would do the same thing, and you telling me you won't, you're bullshitting, or you haven't owned a home or any kind of property, and that's just a fact. But you guys, the bank got paid, and that's what people are running with. They got paid. Nobody got hurt. Everybody that was involved in this case are not suing former President Donald Trump. It's Letitia James and that corrupted judge, Judge Engoron. 3 years, cannot do business in New York. That's going to hurt the middle class. $454 million, and with interest. That's kind of ruling is not going to make American happy, because that's crazy. That's going to give people a narrative that you are running a witch hunt. You're attacking him for something that you can easily reduce, but they're not doing it. They're throwing a hammer at him, like a Thor hammer, where he cannot protect himself. And of course, insurance coverage. When Donald Trump, inflate his property, of course, insurance company is going to give him higher coverage. And this is where things get pretty dirty. I'll explain to you. So when you inflate your property, let's say at $50 million, insurance company they're going to insure you at 50 million plus if you're willing to pay for the premium. So imagine all your property, all 12 properties or whatever, you get, coverage of, let's say, 1 billion, all them total. I'm just giving you a number, okay? And you insure for 1.2 billion. So that means if something happened to any of these properties, insurance company have to pay out at whatever the claim file is. After they do the research, whatever case may be, they have to pay out. And that is a crime, because it's like you're cheating insurance company. But the headache here, guys, is no insurance company are suing Donald Trump. See, that's why it gets tricky. Bank are happy, insurance company are happy, everybody and their mamas are happy except for, you guessed it, Letitia James and Judge Engron. So that's how insurance works. They don't care about the coverage they're giving you. As long as you're able to pay the premium, you agree with what they see, because they have their own underwriter. Underwriter would not issue you these insurance policies if they find something's wrong with it. Underwriter job is to protect insurance company and make sure they profit. But again, nobody and their mamas are suing except Letitia James and Judge Engron. And now we jump to more headache, because when it comes to tax season, they understated the value of the asset, so that way they can, pay less tax. I mean, everyone and their mama does it, but technically that's a crime. So with that kind of crime, you have to pay a fine or you go jail time, depending on the judge. But in this case, they didn't jail former President Donald Trump, but they threw the hammer. $454 million is ludicrous. So these type of crime, the district attorney should be the one handling the case. But the fact that, Attorney General Letitia James is doing it is a witch hunt. She made her campaign, got elected simply because she said, I'm going to go after Donald Trump. She's denying it, but I made videos about her saying this. So she's bullshitting. She's lying. Got caught. But I hope you guys understand that whole breakdown. The video may be long, but that's a full breakdown of it from the left and the right. You understand why Tim Pool's mad. You understand why Jon Stewart's an idiot. And they're going to argue. My job, villagers, simply is to provide you facts, make it funny. I'm sorry my tongue is hurting because I bit myself. But hopefully you learn a thing or two. If you do, please, it means the world to me. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and comment, because that's how you boost the algorithm. And share me around, because the community is growing, and I cannot do that without you and your support. So I thank you wholeheartedly for making it to the end of this video. But before I let you go, please take care of yourself, take care of your family, and most importantly, we have to take care of our health. I'll see you next time, villagers.